Basant is not just a festival, it is a season marker. It is thousands of years old, much older than modern religions, borders, or even the idea of nations. The word Basant or Vasant comes from ancient Sanskrit and simply means spring. In South Asia, spring meant survival. Winter was harsh, food was limited, and disease was common. When spring arrived, life returned. That is why Basant was never about belief first, it was about life continuing. Long before temples and mosques existed, people watched nature. They noticed three things during Basant days became longer, plants started growing, animals became active again. This was the time when farmers relaxed a little. Crops like wheat were strong. Mustard flowers turned fields yellow. This yellow color became sacred because it meant food, warmth, and safety. So yellow was not fashion, it was relief. Later, when Hindu traditions developed, Basant got linked with Saraswati, the symbol of knowledge, music, and wisdom. Why knowledge? Because winter kept people indoors. Spring allowed gatherings, teaching, music, and debate again. Schools reopened. Students prayed for a sharp mind. That is why books, pens, and learning tools were placed in front of Saraswati during Basant Panchami. Even today in India and Nepal, Basant is still more about education than kites. Punjab is land-based. Farming controls life here. When Basant reached Punjab, it mixed with folk songs, bhangra, and dance village fairs, seasonal food. Punjabis did not treat Basant as a prayer day only. They turned it into celebration of open skies. That is where kite flying slowly entered. This is an untold truth. Kites were not invented for fun. In ancient China and Central Asia, kites were used for military signals, measuring wind, weather study. When kites reached South Asia, they became toys for elites first, not common people. In Lahore, kite flying was once limited to royal families, nobles, wealthy traders. Common people mostly watched from below. Many people think Basant is non-Islamic. History says otherwise. Mughal records clearly mention Basant celebrations. Emperor Akbar allowed and joined Basant openly. Emperor Jahangir wrote about Basant in his diary. Yellow clothes were worn in royal courts. Lahore fort rooftops were full of kites. Music and poetry were common. This matters because Mughals were deeply Islamic rulers, yet they saw Basant as culture, not religion. Sufis never rejected Basant. In Sufi poetry, spring symbolized awakening of the soul, hope after pain, love returning after loss. Poets like Bulleh Shah used seasonal change as a metaphor for inner change. For Sufis, Basant meant the heart blooming again. One popular story comes from old Lahore. A Hindu boy lost his father and stopped speaking. His sadness worried everyone. A Muslim Sufi suggested celebrating Basant around him. People wore yellow, sang, flew kites. The boy smiled. This story may not be fully factual, but its message is powerful. Basant was seen as healing, not worship. This is one of the most important and hidden facts. Basant was one of the few festivals shared by Hindus, Muslims, and Sikhs. No religious rituals were forced. No conversion ideas existed. Everyone focused on joy. In a region often divided by belief, Basant united people without speeches or slogans. Yellow food was not random. Popular Basant foods included zarda, saffron rice, sweet yellow rice, ladus almond, sunlight on the plate. These dishes became common during Mughal times, especially in Lahore and Delhi. This part is uncomfortable but real. Originally, kite strings were made of cotton. They were safe. Later, competition turned brutal. Glass-coated strings appeared. Metal powder was added. Ego replaced joy. Deaths happened. Power lines broke. Birds were injured. The problem was not Basant. The problem was unchecked greed. Basant was banned mainly due to fatal accidents, illegal kite industry, weak law enforcement. Instead of fixing the system, authorities chose bans. Culture was punished because regulation failed. Basant did not die. It lives quietly, in villages, on rooftops, in food, in poetry, in memories. People still wear yellow. They just do not announce it. Basant teaches one simple truth. Nothing stays the same. Cold ends, darkness passes, life returns. That is why Basant survived invasions, empires, religions, and bans. Because seasons do not ask permission,